The Baltimore Ravens have signed a wide receiver, and honestly, Ravens fans, it's pretty much giving us this. It's the Flex Zone Podcast, only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. Hopefully, not crickets watching this video. Ravens fans, the Ravens signed a receiver. Let's talk about it. What's going on, Flex Zone family? God's favorite host here, back here on the Flex Zone Podcast, only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. More Ravens news. Just did a Ravens video yesterday about the Ravens and what they need to do and what they might be able to do as they wait on the Lamar Jackson situation to play out. They made a signing. They have signed not Odell Beckham. They have not traded for DeAndre Hopkins. Hell, they didn't even sign DJ Chark, who went to Carolina not too long ago earlier today. They signed Nelson Agholor. Yes, I think that is pretty much the sentiment of Ravens Nation right now. Another failed wide receiver signing. Nelson Agholor, is he a good 3 or 4 in the wide receiver room when you have legit weapons? Yes, he is. But the Baltimore Ravens need a legit 1A or at least a number 2 across from Rashad Bateman heading into the 2023 season. It's been discussed ad nauseum. We know the Ravens, they even said it themselves, are going to redo the wide receiver room. And if this is redoing the wide receiver room, I would like my receipt to get a return on my investment because this cannot send shockwaves to anybody in the division, let alone in the AFC or the entire NFL. You look at Cincinnati, even Cleveland getting Elijah Moore this week, even Pittsburgh. The Ravens have the worst wide receiver core in the division, one of the worst wide receiving cores in the NFL. And honestly, this is a fail. And I know I always say let things play out, be patient. I am not excited by the tiniest of margins. Nelson Agholor never has lived up to the hype since being drafted. He's never been a guy that's been a number one receiver. He's been a guy who has speed, but what does he struggle with? And we've stopped if you heard this before. Drops, staying healthy sometimes. Those are two things I don't want at the wide receiver position, especially if you can't catch the football. That's the number one thing you have to do. He is 29 years of age. He played with New England last year. He played in 16 games, but only 31 receptions for 362 yards, averaged 11.7. Now, New England's offense was pretty inept, much like the Ravens, but you got to give me more than that. Only 2 touchdowns, and his longest reception was 44 yards. Actually, when the Ravens played the Patriots this year, he had a big-time game and fumbled the football, and it was recovered by Marcus Peters. So he's one of those boom or bust guys. I mean, he's pretty much, like I said in our group chat in the Flex Zone, he's a slightly faster Demarcus Robinson, but Demarcus Robinson has won a Super Bowl and has been a part of some winning teams. And Agholor is 29. He's not a spring chicken anymore. He's hitting towards the down part of his career. And if you look at his numbers, he seems to be regressing. The year before this past season, he played in 13 games, 64 targets, 37 receptions, 473 yards. Now we go back 3 years. He had 896 yards with the Raiders and 8 touchdowns, his best year as a pro, in my opinion. 896 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 48 receptions, average 18.7 a reception. But this is not the same guy from 3 years ago. The Ravens don't run that type of offense. Now, under Todd Monken, that could change, but he's not a number 1 receiver. He's not even a number 2 receiver. He's a number 3 receiver at best. And if I'm Lamar Jackson, I'm going to speak for him right now. He has to be pissed off. He has to be looking at his phone, looking at his notifications, looking at ESPN, looking on Twitter, as he's done a lot, Instagram, the past couple of weeks and months, and be shaking his head and saying, this is ridiculous. This is not acceptable. Now, the Ravens are cap stricken. We know that. They really can't make too many moves. Only came in today with like $7 million in cap space. The Ravens have the 22nd pick in the draft. Could they draft a guy in the first round? Yes, but do any of these guys in this draft at wide receiver really strike as a number one? Are there any Justin Jeffersons, Jamar Chases in this draft? No. And he gets a 1 year, $3.25 million deal. So the Ravens in the coupon book again. Now, this could rise with incentives, but 3.25, I mean, it's really the Ravens going back to the scrap heap. Well, now, I'm hoping that this is not the only signing they make at the wide receiver position. I'm hoping they still make a run at Odell Beckham. The DeAndre Hopkins trade is going to be tough because of the Ravens cap situation, but this can't be all they do at the wide receiver position. And I do think they need to draft a guy, don't get me wrong, but they may need to draft a corner in the first round because I think the corners are better than the wide receivers. But Lamar Jackson can't be happy. Eric DeCosta, this is not acceptable because we need a lot better offseason this season heading into 2023. And if you're Todd Monken, yeah, you're the new offensive coordinator, but screw X's and O's. I need Jimmys and Joes. And Nelson Agholor, he is a third or fourth wide receiver at best. He doesn't have the same separation and speed he once had. I would have preferred a DJ Chark 6'4" with the speed as well. Did battle injuries last year, but has that production and made a Pro Bowl. Like I said, this signing gives this for me. It's boo, get crickets. There's really much ado about nothing. And now you look at the wide receiver room: Rashad Bateman, Devin Duvernay, James Prochet, Tylan Wallace, and Nelson Agholor for your Baltimore Ravens heading into the 2023 season, as we are about a month away from the draft. So let me know. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about the Nelson Agholor signing. Are you like me? Is it boo tomatoes? Is it a bunch of crickets? Is it much ado about nothing? Are you pissed as a Ravens fan? Because you should be. I'm running a little hot. It's Friday. But I'm going to take it easy. Lamar should be pissed off because this is not getting him the help he deserves. And this is only going to be something we watch play out over the next few months with the Ravens because they're limited with cap space. Lamar still is here for now. And he can't be happy with the signing. I'm not happy with the signing. And I think it's already a fail before he even takes the field if he suits up for 16, 17 games this season. But we'll see what happens. Sound off in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on Nelson Agholor becoming a Raven. We're here at the Flex Zone. Hate it. And I don't use the word hate often. Does nothing for me. Would have preferred a DJ Chark, maybe a trade for Elijah Moore to start with, but this can't be all they do if they want to revamp the wide receiver. Hit that subscribe button if you need. Hit that like button. Sign off in the comments. The Flex Zone Podcast only plays good news sports how you want it when you need it. Signing off. Let me know, Ravens fans, your thoughts on Nelson Agholor becoming a Raven.